There's a country where the trains are never late, the people bow instead of shake hands, and a simple flower, cherry blossom, can bring millions to tears. It's a place where the future is already happening, and yet the past is always present. Yeah, this is Japan. Let's step into Japan, where technology feels like magic. Flavors surprise you at every bite, and every street is a story waiting to be discovered.
So, what exactly makes Japan stand out in the world? Let's start with something we all use: technology. Japan gave us the Sony Walkman, the Nintendo Switch, and cameras so sharp, they see the moons. Craters, hello, Canon and Nikon. Next comes cars. Exactly, your steel box of traveling. Japan builds them to last. Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Subaru, these are the kings of reliability. Want something sporty? Grab a Lexus, or a Mazda and hit the road. And if you're a gamer, you already owe Japan your childhood. Super Mario, Pokemon, PlayStation. All born in Japan. Are you feeling hungry? Now let's talk about food. Japan turned a raw fish and rice combo into a global superstar. Sushi. They also invented instant noodles, which probably saved every college student's life, at least once. And here's something cooler: matcha, that green tea powder in your latte. Straight from Japan. Oh, and their whiskey. It's winning global awards. When it comes to style, Japan's got its roots deep in tradition. Think kimonos, origami, samurai swords, and calligraphy. But they also invented smart toilets. Seriously, your bathroom has never felt more luxurious. And don't sleep on their stationery game. Japanese pens, write like silk. Muji notebooks, minimalism at its finest. In short, Japan is famous for turning the ordinary into art and the future into the present.
From sushi to Sony, Japan delivers precision with personality. A land of contrasts, ancient spirit, modern power. Japan isn't just a country. It's a feeling, a rhythm, a ritual. Here, samurai once ruled the land with honor. Today, Tokyo's skyline blinks with neon and eye. Yet, walk a few streets and you'll hear temple bells, smell incense, and watch monks, in orange robes chanting quietly. This delicate balance between tradition and innovation is what makes Japan, Japan. From shoguns to superpower. Japan's roots trace back over 10,000 years, but things began taking shape with emperors, and the rise of the samurai in the medieval era. The Tokugawa shogunate isolated the country for centuries, no foreigners, no outside influence. Then in the 1800s, the world knocked, and Japan opened its doors to change. By the 20th century, Japan had become a world power, but not without tragedy. In the early 1940s, Japan wanted to expand its empire across Asia, but the United States opposed this because it threatened their own interests and allies. On December 7, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on the American naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, hoping to weaken the U.S. Pacific Fleet and stop interference. The attack shocked America and forced it to enter World War II, leading to fierce battles across the Pacific for years. By 1945, the war had caused massive destruction and loss of life, and America decided to use a new weapon, the atomic bomb, to force Japan to surrender quickly. In August 1945, bombs were dropped on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing tens of thousands, instantly, and many more later due to radiation sickness. Most victims were innocent, civilians, including many poor families, who had no part in the war but suffered greatly. The devastation forced Japan to surrender, ending World War II but leaving deep scars on its people and cities. After the war, Japan was devastated but determined to rebuild. With support from the US during the post-war occupation, Japan transformed its government, economy, and society, focusing on peace, technology, education, and industry. Over the next few decades, Japan grew into one of the world's strongest economies and a global leader in innovation. Importantly, Japan and America went from bitter enemies to close allies, working together on trade, security, and cultural exchange. Today, Japan is known as a peaceful, friendly country that values cooperation, showing how even the darkest chapters can lead to hope, healing, and lasting friendship.
Rebirth after ruin. After World War II, Japan rose, not with weapons, but with wisdom. It adopted a peace constitution, renouncing war. It rebuilt cities with steel and spirit, leading a tech and manufacturing revolution that shocked the world. Cars, cameras, computers, Japan became a global brand of quality and precision. Today, Japan is a constitutional monarchy. It has an emperor, currently Emperor Naruhito, whose role is symbolic. The real power lies with elected leaders in the National Diet, and the Prime Minister, currently Fumio Kishida. Japan is proud of its identity, its culture, its work ethic, and its social harmony. The official language is Japanese, a language rich with respect and nuance. There are levels of politeness built into speech, based on who you're speaking to. It's not just about words, it's about honor. And that's a big part of Japanese social values. Respect for elders, group over self, cleanliness, order, and silence in public. Perseverance, or gammon, especially in hard times. Even schoolchildren clean their own classrooms, not because they have to, but because it teaches responsibility. Cherry blossoms and Mount Fuji, symbols of the soul. Japan has two national icons that speak louder than any flag. Cherry blossoms, or sakura, these delicate flowers bloom for just a few weeks each spring. Their beauty, and their short life, remind people of how precious and fleeting life is. Mount Fuji, a perfectly shaped volcano, Japan's tallest peak. It's not just a mountain, it's a spiritual journey. People hike it every year for sunrise. It's called Goreiko, the arrival of light.
Economy and currency. Built on excellence, Japan's economy is the third largest in the world. Its currency is the Japanese yen, stable, respected, and widely traded. The country is home to giants like Toyota, Sony. Its business culture values detail, trust, and long-term relationships. Corporate tax averages around 30%, and the sales tax is 10%. Allies and diplomacy. Who are Japan's friends? After World War II, Japan became one of America's closest allies. It has strong ties with the United States, Australia, India, most of the EU, and is a member of the G7 and G20. Relations with China and South Korea are more complex, due to historical tensions, but trade still flows. Japan also plays a key role in regional peace and humanitarian aid. Passport power and global access. Here's a fun fact: Japan holds the one-ranked passport in the world. Japanese citizens can travel to 190+ countries visa-free or with visa on arrival. That's more than any other nation. You want to visit Japan? Well, here's what it costs. Japan is tourist-friendly, and you don't have to break the bank to visit. Hostels or capsule hotels, $30 $60 United States dollars per night. Mid-range hotels, $80 $150 per night. Luxury ryokans, $200 $500 plus per night, includes multi-course meals and hot spring baths. Get a Japan Rail Pass, worth it if you're hopping cities. Clean, on time, and efficient. City life versus rural life in Japan. So first up, let's talk about lifestyle. Japan is a country of contrast, and nowhere is that more obvious than between its cities and its rural towns. In cities like Tokyo, Osaka, or Yokohama, life is fast-paced. Think neon lights, crowded trains, tiny apartments, and cutting-edge technology. The work culture, pretty intense, long hours, high expectations. But travel just a few hours outside the city, and it's a different world. In rural areas like parts of Hokkaido or Shikoku, people enjoy a slower pace of life. Homes are bigger, air is cleaner, and there's a real sense of community. You'll still find traditional festivals, family farms, and even centuries-old temples tucked into the mountains.
Religion in Japan. A unique mix. Japan's religious landscape is actually pretty unique. Most people practice a blend of Shintoism and Buddhism, often without identifying strongly with either. It's more about tradition than strict belief. About 70 to 80% of people take part in Shinto rituals, especially during festivals or visits to local shrines. Around 65 to 70% also follow Buddhist practices, particularly when it comes to funerals and memorials. Only about 1% identify as Christian, though you'll still see Christmas being celebrated, mostly in a commercial or romantic way. And quite a few people, maybe 10 to 15%, don't follow any religion at all in the traditional sense. So you'll often hear people say, "We're born Shinto, marry Christian style, and die Buddhist." It's all part of Japan's cultural blend. In 2024, Islam is the fastest growing religion. What do Japanese people do on holidays? When it's time to take a break, here's what people in Japan love to do. During New Year, families visit shrines to pray for health and success. In Golden Week and Obon, you'll see people traveling across the country, or abroad, to visit family or enjoy nature. Festivals are huge, with parades, food stalls, fireworks, and people in traditional dress. And during holidays, like Children's Day, Tanabata, or Respect for the Aged Day, it's all about family and tradition. Even in the middle of high-tech Tokyo, those deep-rooted customs are still going strong. Why Japan isn't just a place, it's a lesson. Well, Japan teaches us that rebuilding is possible. That peace can come from pain. That precision and patience aren't just values, they're strategies for life. It's a nation where elders are honored, beauty is seasonal, and people still take their shoes off before entering the house. Whether you go for the food, the festivals, or the technology, you'll come back changed. Let's discuss one of interesting fact about Japan. The country has more vending machines than people in some towns. Almost, there are over 4 million vending machines across the country. You can buy everything, from hot coffee in a can to fresh eggs, umbrellas, and even ramen, cooked noodles from a machine. There's also a Japanese island, run by cats. It's called Aoshima, and it has more cats than humans. Dozens of them roam freely, lounging, begging for snacks, and posing like tiny furry emperors. Tourists call it Cat Island, and yes, it's real, and it's perfectly weird.
You know how some countries have 4 seasons? Well, Japan has 5, spring, summer, autumn, winter, and earthquake season. Yep, Japan is basically sitting on the VIP section of the Ring of Fire. Geologically speaking, it's like living on a waterbed with a caffeine addiction. Minor quakes happen so often here, people don't even flinch anymore. You'll be sipping your green tea, the room starts wobbling, and a local just goes, "Ah, just a 4.5. Back to work. Meanwhile, you're hiding under the table texting your family, writing your will. Buildings in Japan are so earthquake resistant, they could probably do jumping jacks and stay standing. The country's engineering is next level. It's like, sure, the ground is dancing, but so are we. So, if you're visiting Japan and feel a sudden shake, don't panic, just follow the locals. Pause, sip your tea, and say, "Shuganai," which means, it can't be helped. If you found this story of Japan inspiring, fascinating, or just plain beautiful, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell, and join us for more stories from around the world. I'd love to know, what part of Japan would you want to see first? Drop it in the comments below.